exploration and the refinement. The related work is for the deriving methods, mainly about 3 different types. One is data drawing model. Different data can be used in training, but creates a huge data set and high computational cost. The second one, the model drawing method, recover the most detailed file structure, but still can bring some noise. And okay, the last one is the deep learning method, improvement in the deriving accuracy. Also, for the detailed information can be reconstructed. This is our proposed network. We start from the conventional processing problem with this equation. Also apply the variable splitting method on this paper, and we can break down this optimized problem into the 3 different parts. The first part on top of this is a denoise part. It can be any denoising operation. And the middle one is the data consistency block. It shows consistency between the frequency data and the spatial data. The last one is a weighted average block, which means like combines the weighted equation from the previous 2 equations here. Also, the input image is actually a complex value image, but in order to deal with the complex value, we convert the complex value to the normal 2-channel images here. Also, we can notice we also can use different stage number. This stage number is mean like the iteration times going through the 3 network blocks. Like here, DB, DCB, WAB. We can do the iteration here. This also can be training. And for the because as I mentioned before, that for the derived block we can use many methods we can use to improve this block here. So inspired from the sparse representation, we proposed a sparse detailed neural network, and it's mainly about the delta convolution. It can contain more detailed information by enlarging the receptive field by turn the parameter of the delta rate. The delta convolution layer are not placed in the continuous circuit we can see from here, which introduce the sparsity mechanism into the network by stacking some like high powered points, delta block, and also the low point together. We can see the few points here, rather than we introduce high powered point can obtain a more compressive contact to reduce computation. And this is another network we proposed based on the SDNet. This time we combine the hybrid diet convolution because in some situation there's a gradient effect of the out image of our previous network. So this technique to try to eliminate this effect. So this is the LDNet H. Also, this is the HDC is the method used to solve the grading problem. The certain number of the layer into the group you can see here, and each group use continuously increasing delta rate from 1 to 3 to obtain information from the wide range of pixels to avoid the grading effect. The lower powered points are also introduced in this technique. This is our model performance. This is a model from the performance from SDNet from stage number 1 to 6. Because the GPU limitation in our lab, so the stage we only can make it to 6. But if we have more powerful CPU, can easily to increase it to the large number to increase the performance. We can see for training testing, PSNR and NMSC performance, when the stage number increased 1, 2, 3, we can see the performance also increased. Okay. Okay, here is compression of the VSNet and SDNet in the stage 5. For the training and testing part, we can say that for the training, the ASD.NET had more better performance in PSN and NMS. Also in the testing part, for the results, this is a visual compression between the VSNet and SDNet. The first row is the training result, and the last row is the testing result. We can see from the left to right is the first one is on the sample image, which is the input image. Then the reconstruct image is the output image here, and beside here is the ground truth. The last one that you can see like the black area is like a difference between the reconstruct image and the ground truth image. We can see that here the black, it means like there's a not big difference between our reconstruct image and the ground truth here. This is also the visual comparison between the VSNet and ASD.NET for training and testing part. You can see the PSN and SIM value is quite close together, but we can so the slide for the SD.NET we can see the performance a little bit better here, but for testing we can see the SD.NET has some grading effect here, the stripe artifact here. Then we the last part is we evaluate three networks together. The middle one is SD.NET HD. This is the second architecture we proposed in order to indicate the grading effect. We can see the detail here in the left corner. For the SD.NET, we can see some grading artifact here, but for the SD.NET, we can more or less the grading effect be reduced. Also, the PSN SM had a higher value than the SD.NET, and compared to VSNet, DC2 is quite similar. And since the limitation of the GPU, because we use a complex network for the SD.NET, if we can increase stage number, use a powerful GPU, then the higher performance can be expected from the SD.NET H. Okay, this is a conclusion. We introduced two different architecture, and for SD.NET we do the compression and annihilation between the two network under the use this a data set called a PD data set for the fourfold factor, and also the stage number associated to the reconstruction can be learned during the training, and the other is the SD.NET architecture to introduce to decrease the grading effect. For the future work, we can try to find a solution for the inconsistency between the training and testing of the SD.NET, and also try to do an improvement in the construction and derive the results. And also this time we also can try the non-medical noise image databases. Okay, this is the last part about reference, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Don. We're switching on something. Yeah, we are switching on something.
Okay,
thank you very much, Don, for explaining this to us. In your presentation, you've shown several models, deep learning models, in fact, for medical images. And I agree with you directly in the end that you said, okay, perhaps we should try this also with other images.
Yes.
The first thing, what you said is that, okay, if there's inconsistency between test and
training, yes, we try.
It feels like, okay, the model is not completely fitted to it, no? Something like that. I have some curiosity about the training, no? Because it also depends a little bit on the success, whether the software you use for training is doing doing its job to get good parameter values for the network. What's your feeling about that? Could that be the reason of the inconsistency?
Yeah, I think I think overfitting also can be a potential problem for that inconsistent. Yeah, because for this, yeah, I think also, but we didn't look that point. I think for the future we can also to look that point.
Okay, we are doing
thank you.
Here. Are there more questions to Dom, guys? Medical images, we are all in that. Okay, then we thank Dom.
Thank you, bye-bye.
We have some people doing the applause here. I hired them, so
okay.
It's under control. What we're going to do now is that I'm afraid we're going again to my brain images. And Katja, who woke up very early this morning, is going to talk to us again about my brain. Okay, let's say it like that. Katja, the floor is yours. You can share the screen and let's have
Thank you. Well, good morning. My name is Katia Maria Poloni. I am a PhD student from the Federal University of São Carlos, and I came to present the paper entitled Automatic Extraction of the Mid-Sagittal Surface from T1 Weighted MR Brain Images using a multi-scale filtering approach, authored by Frasca, Poloni, and Ricardo José Ferrari. What's the motivation for this research? It is to be able to assess a symmetrical structural difference between the right and left hemispheres of the brain. The brain is separated by the interhemispheric fissure, the IHF, as illustrated in this figure. A technique that is commonly used for this task is called the mid-sagittal plane. However, in brains with torque, like illustrated in this image, this technique might not be precisely enough. Therefore, the objective of this work was to develop a surface instead of a plane, to make the separation which would be closest to the IHF. We have used 4 distinct image datasets: the Neuroimage Analysis Center with a T1 weighted image used as a reference for the pre-processing step, the Alzheimer's Disease Neuroimage Initiative with 19 images of individuals with Alzheimer's disease, the information extraction from images with 18 images of healthy individuals, and the simulated brain database with 1 image of a healthy disease. Our methodology consists of the following steps: image preprocessing, IHF sampling, and the MSS extraction. For the preprocessing, we have used the non-local means technique for noise reduction, the N4-ITK for bias correction, the NIFT-REG tool for a fine registration, and the robust brain extraction to extract the brain. The following steps will be more detailed in the next slides. For the IHF sampling, we have used the MSP, the plane, as a reference to define the ROI to search for the IHF, as shown in figure A. Then, we have detected piecewise linear segments using the Ferenczi technique, as shown in figure B, and found the centroid of the binary image in each horizontal sector to form the IHF sampling. For the MSS extraction, we have post-processed the IHF by outputs for eliminate the false positive samples and approximate the fissure to a point curve. Then we resample the IHF points of each image slice to build a B-spline curve, which is a surface. Our results were validated using a manual annotation of 2 distinct specialists. With these annotations, we have calculated the dice similarity coefficient and the average x-distance. Further, we have compared our results with the existing MSP technique and evaluated our method in brains with torque. Finally, all results obtained were tests for significance using the main Whitney statistical test. A qualitative assessment of the results is present in these images. Hence, we can visually notice that the developed MSS accurately capture the surface of the hemisphere. To ensure these values are accurately, we quantitatively assessed the region overlap results using the DSC. These box plots show the values calculated between the MSS segmentation mask and the two specialist ground truths in the colors blue and orange. For both hemispheres, we obtain the highest mean dice of 0.99 for the ADNI datasets compared with both specialists. The global mean DSC was 0.98. Regarding the average X distance, these figures show a visual example of 4 distinct axial image slices with A to G corresponding to annotations of specialist 1, E to H annotations of the specialist 2, I to L results of the MSP, and M to P the proposed MSSS method. As it can be noticed, since the MSP assumes that the IGF can be approximated by a plane, it failed the detection in brains with torque, like in image J. Whereas our method, MSS, has successfully captured this change in image N. We can also note a very small disagreement between the two specialist annotations and the MSS method. These box plots compare the X distance between specialists 1 and 2 in greens, in colors blue and orange, and the MSS detection. Further, a comparison was performed between the two specialist annotations to provide an inter-observer measures in the green colors. The mean values of the results were 0.97. When assessing the MSS results, we achieved a mean X distance result of 2.36 for the ADNI, 2.54 for the IXI, and 1.43 for the brainwave. The global mean distance was 2.11. Then we compared the results with the MSP and both specialists in colors blue and orange. Here, the values achieved were higher, with a mean distance of 6.14 for the ADNI, 6.43 for the IXI, and 2.62 for the brainwave. The global mean value was 5.1. For the final analysis, we evaluated the MSS performance using images with curved IGF, meaning a brain with high torque. Both specialists have manually labeled the images according to two categories, with visible torque and non-visible torque. For comparison purpose, the results of applying the MSCP methods were also shown. With these results, we note that our method is more robust in capturing different brains with torque. We obtain similar values for the two categories. In contrast, when analyzing the MSP results, we noticed that the method could not capture brains with torque, which result in a difference of about 3.5 in the X distance between the two categories. Furthermore, our results were more accurate than the MSP, even when comparing brains with non-visible torque. As conclusions, we have developed a method to detect the interhemispheric fissure surface, dealing with torque and consequently capture brain symmetry. Our method have achieved an accurate detection with quantitative metrics of the DSC of 0.99 and X distance of 2.13. Our results were also compared with specialist annotations and reached a high degree of agreement. Also, we compared our results with the MSP and achieved a more precise X distance values with a difference of 2.95 between the methods. Lastly, we apply our method in brains with different torque degrees and verified the stability. Our results conclusion show statistical significance. Thank you all. I can hear you, your audio.
I was saying all the nice words. Not lost.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katja, for explaining very clear again. Although now we're not doing classification, we are dealing with the data in another way, and you found a way to improve at least the image analysis. Let's say it like that. So, are there any questions from the people in the audience? No, that would be nice. Otherwise, I'm always asking all the questions. That's so, because I mean, we have many people here that are working on data and using their methodology to improve the performance at least. Okay, then we leave it for the moment, and we're going to do the applause at least. I'm making a little bit of noise because what we're going to do now. So Katja was there early morning in the middle of the night, let's say it like that, at the other side of the world, talking to us. What we're going to try to do now is that someone will present something over here. Should be possible now. After all, we have a hybrid conference. So Matthias and co, they from Salzburg, they found their colleague Georg able to come over to us. No, he took his bike and and the boat, and then not exactly, but then he came here, and he's also going to present us a story about convolutional neural networks that are used in the classification of data. I'll move myself a little bit, and he will try to show himself to you, to the audience. Okay?
Okay, so
this is super dynamic now.
Oops. So okay.
You have to do your hair now, because you're on camera.
Last chance. So okay, there you.
Not visible.
I'll make it full screen.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, my name is Georg Wimmer, and I present the paper Temporal Image Forensics using CNNs for chronological ordering of line scan data. Okay, first start with the content, first introduction, then the network, where we present the architecture and the patch selection strategies, then the experiments, here we introduce the dataset, the experimental setup, and finally the classification accuracy, and we conclude with the conclusion. Yeah, we start with the introduction. So in temporal image forensics, the main objective is to create a chronological sequence of pieces of evidence that can be used to deduce causal relationships between events. Okay. For example, this can be used in court trials. The easiest way, of course, would be to see the timestamp in the exit header, but this information is not reliable because it can be easily forged. And we find out the chronological sequence by looking at subtle changes in the images. Then a stake analysis aims at finding messages hidden by steganographic methods in data. This is also closely related to temporal forensics. And deep learning has received much attention, including the application of several CNNs. In our context, this means the hidden message is any information about the age of an image. This could be pixel defects, but also other iterations that have information about the age of the images. And this also includes information that is not detectable for human eyes. Here we see the network. The network that it used is basically a modification of the AlexNet, and it can be used in single channel mode or multiple channel mode. Here we see multiple channel mode, where each channel is used for one crop position. Yeah. So we use several patch selection strategies. First one is crop 5. It's here in red. That means the 4 patches at the corners and the center patch. And we also used only single crops. That means one of the 5 crops from crop 5. Then crop 10, it's basically the same than crop 5, but also with horizontally flipped patches. And spiral 8, that's once again the corner patches and the yellow patches. And then line mode and column mode are specifically for the type of data that we use. It's data acquired is a line scanner. So in line mode, here, for example, in green, that means all patches are extracted at the same line position. So example, along the same line, yeah. And for column mode, along the same column. And then finally, we have the center block mode. Here it's the same like with line mode and column mode, but only at the center of the image where the information of the head is shown. Yeah, then to the experiments. Also, we have a high resolution. It consists of high resolution Palmer handprints, and we have 164 old images acquired at the year 2007 and 164 new images acquired at the year 2012. So we have 2 classes, and our task is to find out if an image is from the old data set or from the new one. So 2-class classification problems. Yeah, the images are obtained with a line scanner, and the resolution of the images is 4250 times 5850. Here we see the workflow. So we have first the 2 data sets, then we use one of the patch selection modes to crop patches. These are then fed to the network, either in single channel mode or multi-channel mode. We'll talk about that later more in detail. Yeah, and then we apply a 5-fold cross-validation that is repeated 5 times. So altogether we have 25 runs, and then we compute the classification accuracy. So now to the multi versus single channel mode. The network can be used in both multi-channel and single channel mode. Each channel has also the same structure. And the multi-channel mode is used to investigate the importance of the spatial position of the crops in the images. So for multi-channel, the input patches for each channel are from the same position. So the crops are taken from the same position in the image. So each channel is trained on its specific positional information. And for single channel mode, the position of patches and images might change. So if you have only one crop, then of course it's the same. But with multiple crops, then this channel, so the CNN, is trained with information from different positions. Yeah, here we see the evaluation accuracies. From all 25 runs, as shown in the box plot. First, we watch the multi-channel evaluation. Here we can see that the best results are achieved using the center 5, center 10, and the spiral 8 patch selection mode with accuracies of 100%. And the specific, where we use the lines and the columns, that didn't work as well. For the single channel evaluation, we can see that only using a single crop works best, except if it's taken from the center where the hand information is. So information works best if it's from the background and doesn't show any textual information. And yeah, and so because only the single crops works best, also we can see that if we have a fixed position where the CNN is trained, it works best. It can also be observed if we compare the center 5, center sequel 8 mode in multi-channel and single evaluation. It's much better in multi-channel evaluation. Yeah, so we come to the conclusion. Our summarized learnings from the experiments are as follows. Good results can achieve even with a small data set. And maintaining the spatial consistency of the crops has a positive effect. Also, so when we only use for one channel specific positional information. And because of that, also multi-channel networks show benefits compared to single-channel networks. And what we also saw was that the background information, where no textual information is, there it works better. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for your attention. Are there any questions? I hope I can answer it because it's not my work.
Yeah, let's see. How can we I switch on my microphone and I put on some mask?
Yeah, now you can.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you.
Well, now we'll also be.
Oof. With all the technical difficulties we have, you see that we are still together all over here. And I hope Georg gave a nice introduction of what his colleagues are doing with the neural networks and how we can improve performance in general. No? Are there any questions from the room, from the online? No, you're all somewhere in the world, no, about this work. Georg, do you have any idea about how your colleagues were doing the training of the CNNs?
Yeah, they used 80% for 20% for training, 80% for training and 20% for evaluation. I don't know exactly how they separated the training data and the evaluation data.
Yeah, that's actually a kind of design of experiments, no? The story. At least usually I'm making a lot of noise about that. Yeah. But do you know anything about the software they used for the training?
The software, I think it was the PyTorch environment.
The PyTorch, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they use standard software for that.
Yeah.
I always have a curiosity about that because some people make their own algorithms and then the benchmarks start to be less comparable. So that's, I had this curiosity about it. Okay. Okay, guys. No further questions, right? So then we'll stop the story of, oh no, first we do the applause, so we can do that over here. Julio and me at least, we can do that. Georg thinks he cannot applaud for himself, but he can also do that. Okay, then our next challenge is the last session of the last contribution to the session today. Where we also have a big challenge, at least we expect, because Yamin already announced a little bit that things may be difficult with the bits and bytes to get sufficient stream. We have a backup with a video and everything, so...
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear. So can you...
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I'm surprised because it says that the camera and microphone are off, though. Yeah. Let's try to see you.
But I can't share the screen.
And you cannot share the screen, no? That's the difficulty. What's the option we have, Julio?
Well,
here is it, okay? You get me, sir?
Great.
Yeah.
That's nice, okay.
We got it.
Come here.
So I don't have to say anything now, because it says here that you're nicely doing information about plants under field conditions. So we are very curious about your work.
Okay, so I can start?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. I'm Yamina Boutiche with Image and Signal Processing Laboratory of Research Center in Industrial Technologies. I'm pleased to be among you, even virtually, to present a part of my work that concerns uh, image segmentation for precision agriculture. For that, I'm going to target essentially 5 points. The first one, I introduce the context of the work. Then I give a global overview of greenhouse segmentation. I introduce then the proposed method, followed by some results, and I conclude. So, exploiting lands for agriculture is a closed circle that begins with tillings and finishes with harvesting. Nowadays, several steps of this circle are monitoring using computer vision. So we can find that during the crop growth for weed detection, disease detection, or during the harvesting to recognize ripeness or garden fruit and so on. As a first step to establish a vision system in agriculture, three ways are used. Cameras are fixed, sorry, cameras are fixed on different location of the crop to get samples, or we use robots that moves through the plant rows. For the huge surfaces, we use drones. In almost all these cases, the accurate image are characterized by a complex background because soil can contain a variety of artificial and or natural residues, low contrast, uneven illumination, and pixel saturation because acquisition is done in outdoor light condition so that it depends on the weather changes. Shadow, partial occlusion, and overlapping due to the shooting angle compared to the sun position. Because of all these points, providing algorithms able to deal with this kind of image is still challenge task. Let's present a global overview of greenhouse image segmentation. During a year, several greenhouse segmentation techniques have been proposed. They are classed in three groups. The first one, called coral index based approach, it is based on a transformation of the three RGB image to a single channel image that highlight as much as possible the greenness. This class has direct and simple implementation. However, it has low accuracy if the light is strong or poor. The, the second one, the second family is threshold-based approach, which have the same principle as the first class, but it introduced some segmentation technique like Otsu and Kamin. It gives fairly good accuracy segmentation, but threshold adjustments are required. The last family, learning-based approach, gives, which is of course based on deep learning. It gives a high accuracy, but needs several training steps and big data sets. Let's present now our proposed method. To make it easy to understand, I presented its flow chart. So our algorithm consists on two blocks. The first one for color space transformations. The second one is for segmentation issue. A pre-processing step is needed to reduce noise. Let's detail each block. So, for the color space transformation, we have used three color space based on previous studies. The first one, RGB to LAB space, which is done via a nonlinear transformation of RGB color space using these equations. Here we get the luminance information. A and B contain the chroma information. We have used the A channel because it has great ability to separate the green X from the red one. Thereby, a good separation or a good contrast between soil and plants is obtained. The second considered color space is HSV, which is also a nonlinear transformation of RGB color space. We have used the H hue info channel because it has a great robustness against light change. The last color space is the YCRCB color space, which is this time a linear transformation of RGB color space. Here it is used, this color space is used for general segmentation issue because it gives a good contrast between foreground and background for a given image. Once we have the three channels, they are concatenated to be segmented, to construct image to be segmented. So for the segmentation issue, we have used the very known Chanvis model that is based on optimizing the energy functional where C in and CI out are present the means of intensity inside and outside the curve. The outcomes of the segmentation is the zero level set contour, which present the edge contour, edge object, a binary image. Of course, to optimize this functional, we use the calcul of variation to obtain Euler-Lagrange equation that allow to update the position of the level set at each time. At the end, we can dedicate the segmented image. More often, for the optimization issue, we use the descent gradient method, which is known stable, but it is so now faster. It is so low. So because of that, we have chosen to use sweeping algorithm for the optimization issue. This algorithm is based on evaluating the energy when a curve when point is moved from inside to outside the curve, in the case from inside to outside, or vice versa, and evaluating the energy to update this point on or to let it at same place. So once we have the convergence, we can directly obtain the percentage of ground cover. Here, V present the vegetation pixels. C is the total image segmentation, the total image pixels, of course. To present the results of the proposed algorithm, as a first step, we present the outcomes of each algorithm step. For a given image, for a given RGB image, color space transformation are used, and then we select A, H, and CB channels that gonna be concatenated to obtain an image. We initialize the level set as binary image, binary function, sorry, binary function -1 inside the curve and +1 outside. This this input image with level set initialization are optimized using the Chanviz model. Then we get the outcomes of the algorithm. Here, yellow line present the zero level set function at the convergence, which is the same as the object or the plant boundaries, the binary level set function, and we can present also the 3D of the level set function. Now let's present the performance of our proposed method in different weather conditions. Here we have three conditions: low lighting, normal lighting, and strong lighting. In the three cases, the proposed method extracts correctly the plant. So we can say that our model is strong or it is robust to light change. Second experiment are done on two images where to compare our method to a very large used axis green and with Otsu segmentation models. Axis green minus red, and compute COM2. Here the image presents a shadow and difficult non-uniform illumination. Here also the same problem with no uniform illumination. As we know, the axis green red is filed to segment the both images, but good performance have done by axis green model and COM2 model. Close scene, we know that this is sensitive to some position in the image where some pixels are so lighting or low lighting. This is not in our algorithm with that segment correctly the plant. So for the evaluation issue, we have used three measures now to evaluate the performance of our model. So we have accuracy, dice, and Jacquard measures. Firstly, we evaluate the three methods on a database named crop with field image, which is occurred in controllable light condition. We note that the three method gives a good segmentation accuracy about 98%. The second considered database is taken in outdoor light condition, but good condition. We notice that the soil contains some residues, artificial residues. Here also, the three algorithm gives a good segmentation performance. Low, where severe light conditions are done, where all discussed difficulties are present in this database. The performance of the proposed method is high compared to the axis green or modified axis green models. So our proposed method improves the accuracy of segmentation of this database. To conclude, we have proposed an algorithm able to deal with agriculture image occurred in field conditions, so in outdoor and uncontrollable light condition. It gives a good accuracy because it is color is not colorated with the brightness, because we have used the color space transformation. The segmentation is done on background.
I'm not sure what's going on.
No, we fill in the end, it looks like. Huh?
Thank you for your attention.
Oh, you have to.
Are you hear me, sir?
Okay.
You get me, sir?
You lost the share screen then.
Yeah, but she's back.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, nice to see you.
I'm here for any
we lost the conclusions. We want the conclusions.
I repeat it?
Yeah, please. We have 1 minute.
Okay, no problem. So I share again the my So for the conclusion, I thought about that we have proposed. You get me, sir?
Yeah. I also like the last slide. It also looks very nice. No, this is clear.
The proposed algorithm, we have proposed algorithm able to deal with agriculture image taken or occurred in field condition. Our proposed algorithm gives a good segmentation accuracy because color is not colorated with the brightness. You hear me, sir?
Yeah, we hear it.
Okay. So the color is not colorated with brightness because we have used some color space transformation. We have the segmentation is done on several channels that gives more robustness against light condition and channel.
Oh.
I think her connection dropped again.
Yeah. But it's just in the end, no? Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's a very interesting story. So I have to tell her. No?
Yeah. Hopefully she's going to join back now.
Yeah, exactly.
She's back.
Hey, Jasmine, we see you again. At least we see you aboard. Let's say it like that.
We are here.
Yeah.
Hello.
I think that your investigation is very relevant, what you do for precision agriculture. I mean, I had colleagues already working on that 30 years ago. By that time, we didn't have the same technology to handle that. We had images in 3 colors. We didn't have technology with the neural networks. I've one small curiosity, because you said something about fast conversions. I don't know exactly what you mean with that. You mean that the learning is fast?
I don't use any deep learning.
Yeah, that's right. But what do you mean with fast convergence?
Fast, because we use to optimize the energy functional, so we need to optimize it.
Yeah.
Classically, they use descent gradient, which is low, but when we use sweeping algorithm, it is fast. So even the image is a huge surface, we can optimize it in some seconds.
Okay, that sounds good. And the software is based on MATLAB or Python, or what did you use?
For the moment, it is based on the MATLAB, but
Okay.
I'm working to make it on Visual Studio.
Yeah, Python not necessarily makes it faster, but it's open software, so that would be nice if you could handle that. That's right. MATLAB makes software. But scientifically, for the proof of principle, I think you got very good results out of here. So
with Python?
That. Yeah, my remark was that if you manage to get it running in Python, then you have an open software, and then it's more open to the world. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, we can use with Python with how do you? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay. So over here, at least we have to make a movement of the applause, huh? We close the session, and I thank everybody to be here with us this morning with all the difficulties we have with the online, with the talking during the night, with talking with bad connections, with trying to connect something to talk in direct over here. Okay, so thank you all, and we'll see you back later today. Thank you. We close the session.
Inshallah. Thank you.
So we can also stop the streaming and this type of stuff. No?
Yeah. So this one first.
Now we even see us moving.